like anything in life, if you don't know, you endeavor to learn and you take that first step to whatever that is for you. I mean, you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, I mean, whatever. You want to learn guitar, you want to, learn how to write or how to paint. You got to take the first step. And happiness is no different, man. We all strive to be happy every day, but sometimes it just isn't there to be found. Even if you try to create it, you just don't have the energies needed to create it. It's like trying to create a recipe, but you have no ingredients. It kind of feels like that sometimes. It's like I say, practice breeds proficiency. Perfection does not exist. And we can't live under that duress of trying to be perfect in the eyes of society, especially in ourselves. Because I've gotten to the point in my life now where I just don't care what people think. I mean, I just straight out don't care. I'm not being rude or crass or disrespectful. I'm just saying, to me, they're just background objects. It's just background noise. I don't care if somebody's sarcastic, arrogant, rude, impatient, inconsiderate, no courtesy, common sense, consideration, class, nothing. I don't pay attention to those crazy energies. That's just, it took me a long time to get here. But sometimes when you wake up, it's like, where did my smile go? It was there yesterday, but today it's a little harder. Well, because, a lot of things are going on in the world that they're not going to tell you about. I've said it a million times. You're being bombarded by all these types of radio waves and microwaves. You can't see this stuff, but it's happening. And that works in tandem with the garbage they're putting in the food, and in the water and everything, in the soil, in the air, the stuff you're breathing in, it's all toxic. Chemtrails. I mean, this attributes to why you feel the way you feel, and it's harder for you to be high vibrational because it's that way by design. So you have to say to yourself, I have to bypass this nonsense and just do it on my own because I'm a cosmic being and I can't allow them to control me. Now you see a lot of these people, they're subdimensional. You can't help them. You won't be able to help them or wake them up. What you could do is offer them, insight and show them something, but you can't teach them because only you can teach yourself. Somebody could demonstrate and illustrate and show you and present things to you and offer these things as some sort of, like spectacle or observation that you can go like you're watching a movie, but it's up to you to teach yourself or not. You have to be willing to want to learn. That's why I say in the beginning of the video, you have to, it's like anything else in life. First, you have to want to have a passion to want to learn, and then you take the process how to get that done, to be a brain surgeon or an astronaut or whatever you want to do in life. Nothing's off the table. And happiness is no different. Sometimes you have to work at it. Sometimes it comes easy. That's because you're tapped into a high vibration. When your happiness comes without any type of work, you're tapped into a high vibration. When your happiness, you're struggling, that means you're tapped into a low vibration. Because that high vibration is not meant to fit in that low vibration. And that low vibrational environment is basically fighting against this thing to not permit it to gain entrance into that atmosphere. So that's really what you can understand that's going on. Don't forget, you have been programmed unconsciously to immediately revert to that default comfort zone. That's where the mind wants to go. And you'll find yourself, fluctuating like this. I find myself doing it too. Sometimes I'm high vibrational, sometimes I'm low. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's because everything around you, the environment's pulverizing you with stuff. Then you have the narratives and the social media and the content. It's all a cumulative effect that's building to something catastrophic, which is the absolute failure, of the structural integrity of your piece, to which you find yourself at the point becoming the catalyst of your own demise. That's the intent. So I got to just sometimes pick myself up and say, yo, I'm not doing this anymore. That's why I find myself away from people. Because the energy that they carry is not human anymore. It's mechanical because of what's being done to them. I'm not going to get into why, because then they'll pull my channel. But it's a lot of sinister stuff, folks. A lot of sinister stuff. All you got to do is just do your own research. Stay away from the big names. They're all liars. They're not going to tell you anything. They're all giving you misinformation. Don't look for any type of real information on the big name search engines because they're all in the same clique. You got to go to like the social media platforms and look at the actual individuals giving you information, and that's the reason why they're thrown in Facebook jail. But that's the real deal. If you ever want to get the real news, you have to go to the personal news reporter that isn't working for any affiliates or companies or anything like that. Somebody with a camera and showing you the real situation that's not scripted or anything. But like I said, it takes practice. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's easy to come because you're in a high vibration. And when it's really hard and you're struggling, wait a minute, I'm plugged into something that's prohibiting this from gaining access into my aura, into my soul. So that's unconscious stuff. You've been unconsciously programmed because you're doing it unconsciously. How could you be consciously aware of your actions if you're unconsciously being programmed to trigger and activate these things to cause you to revert to this place that you're not even aware that you're in? Your conscious self is like, hey, this is great, life is great. Then you keep gravitating to the garbage and you're like, why do I keep doing this? Because unconsciously you're programmed to do it. It's a subliminal thing, man. That's why it's unnoticeable. They're very sinister at what they do, but they're very good at what they do. I mean, notwithstanding giving them any praise, but I'm just saying, because I can't stand them, but you got to give them credit because they can control a large population with a small amount of them, and they do it very well. So, they're very good at it, and they've been doing it for centuries. So much so that they can get you to do it. They can get you to do it to yourself and make you think it's a good thing. By defending religion or defending all that garbage that happened a few years ago. I remember all that insanity, how this world got turned upside down, and these people was just ridiculous, ratting out other people for just walking in their backyard. And it was crazy. It was almost like Nazi Germany all over again. It was just nuts. And how fast it can just change. That's why human beings are social creatures. They're not civil. So to end this video, just to say, sometimes you wake up and you're in a rough heaviness. That's because that's where your energy's plugged into. So you recognize you have to consciously be willing to pull yourself out of that environment, like in other words, that low vibrational density, that terrestrial malevolence, and say, pull yourself right out of that trash and say, no, 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 no. Even if you don't have it in you to plug into something high, just get out of that. And like I said in a previous video, if you can't find your smile, just go to the gray. Just stay the neutral, the idle, the in-between, the middle. That's a perfect place. It's like sitting in your car with the car running, but you're not moving forward or back. That's a good place to be, man. Absolutely. Be neutral. That's a good place to be. You're not being positive or negative. You're just being. And sometimes, or perhaps even more often than that, that is a fine thing to be. And it's a good place to be too. Be well. God bless and have a great day.